Hello, this is Susan Copeland, and I am supporting 5th grade elementary math this year. This video will guide you through the experience of exploring an upcoming topic through the lens of Core Action 1. Just for an example, we will use the first topic of Quarter 2 as a model. The materials you will want to have handy are your Unpacking document, the topic curriculum guide, and the assessment. You may also want to reference Achieve the Core from time to time. I will refer to these materials throughout the video. The first topic in second quarter for 5th grade is Topic 5. The CMS Topic 5 curriculum document shows that the standards addressed in this topic are NC 5 and BT 6 and NC 5 and BT 7. NC 5 and BT 6 addresses whole number division. NC 5 and BT 7 is not addressed in full. It is included here because of the inclusion of estimation in that standard. Begin planning for this topic by studying the scope of the standard using the NC-DPI Unpacking document. In this topic, students will divide up to 4-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers. We will use this table to guide us through a deep dive into NC 5 and BT 6. Let's start with focus. Does this standard address major work of the grade level or provide additional work for the grade level? If you search Achieve the Core for grade level focus, each cluster, that is, the bold unifying heading in groups of standards, is identified as either a major work, supporting the major work, or an additional cluster. While all standards should be addressed, it is recommended that some are addressed with greater emphasis. Those are the major work standards. NC 5 and BT 6 falls in the cluster Perform operations with multi-digit numbers. The green box by this cluster indicates that this is part of the major work of 5th grade. Next on our chart is Coherence. Coherence asks, how does the standard connect to other standards in your grade level and to the standards in other grade levels? Achieve the Core Coherence Map will allow you to see how standards progress. How can you connect to the previous work to build a foundation as students build deeper understanding of the standards? We can see that in 4th grade, this standard connects to NC 4 and BT 4. Students learn to add and subtract numbers up to 100,000 in 4th grade. 5th grade division will require that students fluently subtract whole numbers up to 10,000. Also in 4th grade, NC 4 and BT 6, 4th grade students use strategies similar to 5th grade to divide numbers with up to a 3-digit dividend and a 1-digit divisor. We can also connect to standards in our grade level. NC 5 and BT 1, in Topic 1, students explore the idea that as a digit moves one place right, the value is 1/10 or divided by 10. Similarly, 2 places is divided by 100 and 3 places is divided by 1,000. Also in 5th grade, NC 5 and BT 5, in Topic 3, students developed fluency with multiplying multi-digit whole numbers. As students relate multiplication and division and find partial products, the multiplication skills in Topic 3 will support the work of this topic. We also want to take a look for coherence at how does this work impact future work. We can see looking ahead, NC 6NS2. In 6th grade, students will develop fluency with whole number division, including using the U.S. standard algorithm for division. Also in 6th grade, NC 6NS3, students will be introduced to and develop fluency to divide decimals by decimals. Looking at what comes before and after this work helps us to provide coherent instruction for students. Now let's take a look at rigor. Which aspect of rigor does this standard address? Conceptual understanding, procedural fluency, or application? If the standard calls for conceptual understanding, we ask, what key concepts will students need to have a solid, in-depth understanding of? If the standard calls for procedural fluency, we ask, what flexible concepts will they need to be able to access from a number of perspectives? If the standard calls for application, we ask, how can students use math flexibly in problem-solving situations both inside and outside the math classroom? It is important to consider which aspect of rigor a standard is addressing. Carefully reading the standard and the unpacking can support us in knowing the goal of the NC standard. For NC 5 and BT 6, the unpacking makes this very explicit. by stating, "The focus of this standard is to build conceptual understanding of division with larger numbers. Students are expected to use various strategies and explain their thinking. Although the traditional algorithm may be introduced, students are not expected to master this algorithm until middle school." Next, let's take a comprehensive look at the unpacking for NC 5MT6. After reviewing the NC unpacking document, how would you define the depth and scope of the standard? Also reference the topic assessment and Step 2 in the CMS curriculum guide for Topic 5 to add additional clarity for what students should be able to do by the end of the topic. After reviewing the topic materials, I noticed students divide up to 4-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers. Students need to think about remainders and how context impacts how the remainder is included in the final answer. Students need to use the following: arrays, area models, repeated subtraction, partial quotients, the relationship between multiplication and division, and the U.S. standard algorithm can be introduced beside models, but it is not required. Next, let's look at impact on instruction. What are the implications for instruction in this topic? The curriculum guide outlines what students need to know and what our students need to be able to do in Step 3. Some thoughts I have are students will be able to divide up to 4-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers, divide when the number of groups is unknown or when the group size is unknown, consider the context to decide what to do with the remainder. Should the remainder be dropped, included as part of the answer, or included as another group that is just partial? Students also need to be able to use the relationship between multiplication and division, arrays, area models, partial products, and repeated subtraction to solve division problems. And I can see by looking at the assessment, students are going to need to be able to solve multi-step problems that include division. So now when I think about my lessons or small groups, I can think about what my instructional outcomes can be. When we intentionally plan, we have a better understanding of standards and how to encourage students to make sense of math and connect ideas. Now it's your turn to give it a try. Take a moment to grab your Envision Teacher's Manual, curriculum guide for your upcoming topic, as well as the unpacking document, and complete this process with a standard from an upcoming topic. Thank you.